Welcome back to the Datarekha audio guide. I'm Diya.
And I'm Arjun. Today, the framework that does the unglamorous half of every AI app. Turning your pile of messy documents into something a model can actually answer questions from.
So where does LlamaIndex sit relative to the names people already know? LangChain, LangGraph?
Here's the cleanest way to file it. If LangChain and LangGraph are about orchestrating agents, the control flow, the loops, who calls what, then LlamaIndex is about feeding them. It's the data framework. One is the brain's wiring. The other is getting food into the brain. And in 2026, it's grown well past a RAG library into the leading platform for document agents.
Okay, people throw around RAG like it's one big magic step. You're telling me LlamaIndex breaks it into named parts.
That's the entire design philosophy, and it's why the framework is so learnable. Every step of retrieval is a named, swappable component. Learn 5 nouns, and you can read basically any LlamaIndex codebase. Want me to walk the 5?
Please, and keep them concrete.
Start with documents. That's raw content pulled from a source, a PDF, a web page, a database, by a thing called a loader. Then nodes. And this is the one piece of vocabulary that catches everyone. LlamaIndex calls chunks nodes. A node parser takes your big documents and splits them into nodes. Each one a piece of text plus some metadata.
So node isn't a server, isn't a step in a graph. It's just their word for a chunk.
Exactly. Just their word for a chunk. Keep going. The index is a structure built over those nodes for fast lookup. The default one embeds each node into a vector and stores them. Then the retriever. You give it a query, it fetches the most relevant nodes from the index. And finally, the response synthesizer. It takes those retrieved nodes and composes the actual answer.
And somewhere in there is the query engine, which I always hear about. Where does that fit?
The query engine is just a convenient bundle. It wraps the retriever and the synthesizer together into one call. You ask it a question. Under the hood, it retrieves the right nodes, then synthesizes a grounded answer. So retrieve plus answer becomes a single dot query.
Let me try the analogy out loud. This sounds exactly like a library. The loader is the delivery truck bringing in books. The node parser tiers them into individual articles. The index is the card catalog. The retriever is the librarian who pulls the 3 relevant articles.
And the synthesizer is the research assistant who reads those 3 and writes you a paragraph. That's it. You've got the whole pipeline. And the query engine is just the front desk where you hand over your question and get the paragraph back without ever seeing the machinery.
There's a structural choice baked in here that I want to poke at. You keep saying build the index and query the index like they're two separate phases.
And that split is deliberate and important. The build is offline. Load, parse, embed, index. It's expensive. Embedding every chunk costs. Real compute. But you do it once per set of documents. The query is online. Retrieve, then synthesize. It's cheap and it runs per question. Over and over. Against the index you already built.
So the unforgivable mistake would be re-embedding all your documents on every single question.
That's exactly the trap. And naive setups fall into it. You pay the embedding cost once and amortize it across thousands of queries. Build once, query many. If you find yourself re-indexing per question, you've collapsed the 2 phases and you're lighting money on fire.
Now, how much code is this in practice? Because the noun list sounds like a lot to assemble.
And here's the payoff. It's 5 lines. The defaults wire everything together. 1 line loads a directory into documents. 1 line builds the index, which quietly does the parse, embed, and store. 1 line turns the index into a query engine. 1 line asks your question. And the answer comes back grounded in your data.
Wait, that's 4? What's the 5th line by me?
The 5th is my favorite. The response object carries its source nodes, the exact chunks it used to answer, so you get citations for free. No extra plumbing. You can show the user precisely which passages back the answer. That's a real feature, handed to you by default.
But surely those convenient defaults are also a ceiling. The moment I want something smarter, am I rewriting the whole thing?
No. And that's the whole point of components being swappable. Because each piece is a named part, you replace exactly one and leave the rest alone. Want a smarter node parser? Swap it. A hybrid retriever instead of pure vector search? Swap it. A re-ranking synthesizer? Swap it. The 5 lines stay 5 lines. You just upgrade one slot at a time.
Last thing, and it's the question everyone secretly has. LangChain or LlamaIndex? Do I have to pick a side?
You don't, and treating it as tribal warfare is the mistake. They overlap, but they lead with different strengths. LangChain and LangGraph shine at orchestrating agents and control flow. LlamaIndex leads on the data side. Ingestion, indexing, retrieval, document agents. Tons of production stacks use LlamaIndex for the retrieval layer and LangGraph for the agent loop. Best tool for each job.
So the one sentence to leave with?
LlamaIndex turns documents into a queryable index through 5 swappable components. And it cleanly separates the expensive build ones from the cheap query many. Learn the 5 nouns, and the rest is just choosing better parts.
Feed the brain before you wire it. That's the Datarekha audio guide. See you in the next one.